This Nasi Uduk place has Nasi Uduk for 4,000. That's crazy cheap, but apparently it's also very legendary. I don't even know if that's a word, but since 1967, so they've been around for a long time. And right now I'm battling flies from also eating my food. The great part is that this place actually has a lot of reviews even on Google. I think there's a lot of fanboys who really enjoy this place. So we're here to try it out. But I can confirm that at least very, very affordable. So okay, for example, this is a whole plate. They give it to you at your table. You get to have as much as you want, but each one of these is about 4,000. That's like less than 3 cents. They use lemongrass, coconut milk, and a bunch of seasonings when they cook the rice. And each of this chicken, like this chicken piece right here, is only about 22,000. 22,000 is less than $2. And we got a lot of things on the side like tofu. We got paru. We have chicken gizzards. In Indonesian, they're called ati ampela. Even Brazilians, I learned a couple months ago that Brazilians also have this really in their culture. But in Indonesia, we love the chicken. So you get it in a banana leaf, nicely wrapped. So this is a little piece right here. Little rice ball. Ooh. It's still very hot. Okay, so I gotta talk a little bit about the place. There's a lot of traffic jam going outside. There's a lot of people, cars. There's like a holdup in the street. Okay, so this is just the Nasi Uduk on its own. It's basically coconut rice with spices. It's very fragrant. It's funny because I read some of the reviews and some people were saying that it's not that tasty. But wow, I don't know, because I had a low expectation that actually changed things in my mind. But this is excellent. Oh yeah. I have to say though, the rice is a bit dry. It's like day-old rice that they use. So I don't know if it's part of it. I know some people like their rice more hard. This rice is more individual, if you know what I mean. It's rougher. So it's not as soft, as fluffy. But the fragrance, let me tell you, the flavor's there. Texture, I wish it's a little softer. Killed it so quick. I have to go for another one. But I'm gonna try the chicken first. Dude, chicken's good. Chicken's really good. Chicken's excellent. I hear what people are talking about. Wow. There's some reviews that say it's not good and stuff. It's like sweet, savory. It's not super soft, of course, but I think it's fried really well. And honestly, I really like this. It's like the sauce is marinated really deeply inside the chicken. So if you can see, it's so nicely fried, it's golden. But wow, this is really good. So this is considered as Betawi food, right? Betawi food means that it's old Jakarta, like during the Batavia era. So if you read up on your history during the Dutch rule of Indonesia, that was during Batavia. They call that old Batavia, and now it's Jakarta. But this kind of food has been around for back in the day. I'm gonna open up another rice, because you gotta have all the side dishes with the rice. I'm just gonna pour this down here. What is the red stuff on it? One of the spices is red in color. I'm gonna try the tofu, okay? This is called yellow tofu. Look how nicely it's been fried. You can see the oil glistening. See that? Wow. It's crazy. So the thing about tahu kuning in Indonesia is that most of the time, the flavor of the tofu is different from like Chinese or Japanese tofu. It's like Japanese, Chinese tofu is very silky and clean, right? This has almost like fermented flavor that people look for. It's a little bit sour, tangy flavor of the tofu itself, but I personally really like that sour flavor, the fermented flavor of the soybean. You dip it in that peanut sauce that they give you. This is peanut and soy sauce. Wow, that peanut sauce slightly spicy, but delicious. Crazy the amount of flies here, wow. Big ones. I'll dip some more of the peanut sauce here. Pour it on your tofu. Yeah, and then you take it with the rice, with everything else. That's good stuff. Have it with some of that. This is chicken heart, right? The best way to describe this is that it's crumbly and almost creamy in texture. On the outside it's crunchy. There's like an outer layer because they fry it. But on the inside, there, see how easy that is? It's almost like pate. If you've ever had French pate, and it's delicious, the flavor. Not irony, I would say, but more so, it's just like liver pate. It's just so cool that you can get everything here, like a proper meal for $2, $3. The whole thing. The chicken itself was about $1.50. The rice, 20 cents, so that's like $1.70. The tofu, it's about like 10,000. That means that is about less than $1.80. So in total, you're paying only about $2.30 for a full meal. That's street food. The only thing is, you gotta battle the flies. It's always nice when you hit the fly, and it feels like you hit a raisin. All right, now Gunnar and Joe are gonna eat, and We're gonna go head to the next spot. Today is a day of Betawi food.
You see people in Indonesia, they eat it like this. Even in the chair. You know, they do like this. That's Indonesian people.
That's true. So I think that was one of the coolest parts about food. It's just the fact that you can meet just a totally complete stranger and have like a wholehearted discussion about the history, about food. And we were talking with Alfie, but it's so cool that he has such a deep knowledge on a lot of the food in Southeast Asia that we consume. I think one thing that we also found out was that this place, like Nasi Uduk itself, originated from back in 1627, 1628. So back in the 1600s. So that's way before. Back then what happened was people from Malacca came and they brought with them food, which is this rice. And people in Batavia back then already had a kind of rice called nasi gurih, which means savory rice. So nasi gurih was people from Batavia and people from Malacca came with their own type of dish. And together with all the cultures combined with available ingredients and also the Javanese people who were here, came nasi uduk, a whole dish that is separate from all these places because of the ingredients, the things that come in the sides, like the chicken, the tofu, and the sambal. So nasi uduk from Indonesia, nasi uduk from Singapore, and nasi uduk from Malaysia. It's all different variants of the same thing depending on the spices and they have. But we were talking about also how we rated the whole place, right? And I would say for me personally, I give it a 3 out of 5. The fragrance is there, the flavor is great, it's magnificent. But I think why it's not a 5 out of 5 was just because I think the rice was a little rough, mostly because of the texture. That's for me. So we're headed now to have soto Betawi, which is basically old Jakarta soto, and we'll see you guys there.